The Apple Vision Pro has just released worldwide, so finally, we're able to get a glimpse into the future. This technology is innovation unlike anything I've notably tried, and it's essentially a computer itself with the M2 and R1 chip, and also its own vision operating system. The first moments of using this device was just incredible, but it does have a lot of pain points and limitations to fix. So what's it like, the good and the bad, after 30 days? Let's step into the future with this thing together as an everyday user.
Peering through the lenses, given the Vision Pro isn't transparent in design, you can't actually see the real environment around you with your own eyes, and people can't see your eyes either. The device uses multiple camera lenses to capture the environment in real time, then passes through the video overlaid with the interface and applications, creating an augmented reality-like experience. When that pass-through mode is enabled and you're looking at someone, they can see an animated version of your eye that Apple creates. Eye movement inside the headset is tracked with precision to replicate as a cursor. So pretty much the mouse moves wherever you're looking at, whilst the headset recognizes hand gestures for action controls. Swiping can navigate between apps or around interface. Pinch and drag to move windows, resize or zoom, and pinch to select items.
This does rely on the camera being able to track your hands. So if they're covered in your pocket, or if you're using the Vision Pro in complete darkness, the gestures won't work.
The environment you see is also really limited by light. So in dark places, you do get a grainy image. The other frustration I've noticed with video pass-through is digital screens becoming blurry. Even in brightly lit environments like being outdoor on a sunny day, it still produces a wavy image because of how the rendering works. It's like you're holding your phone camera in front of you and viewing the environment completely through the camera via the screen, except you're wearing ski goggles. To compare, the interface in any applications you open that's not using a video pass-through is crystal clear in super high resolution. It's incredible opening multiple apps, bringing them close to you, throwing them back and making them appear like an oversized movie theater. It's like having floating giant iPads in front of you with zero thickness and no feel. Resizing windows is also a different experience where you just look at the bottom edges of an application, then pinch and drag out. The top right button opens up the Vision OS menu, and turning the dial increases the immersive environment, each taking you from the pass-through environment to one of a handful of sceneries which look amazing, giving impossible views. Adding on to another new user experience is typing. You've got 4 options here. Tapping onto the holographic keyboard that appears in mid-air, looking at the keys and pinching with your hands as if you were using an on-screen keyboard on a computer, using voice-activated commands which is very accurate, or connecting a Bluetooth keyboard. Keeping in mind, the Vision Pro is actually a computer on its own, so you can connect other peripherals.
Now, you can connect your headphones, but to be honest, you really don't need to. With a headset, you get spatial audio, which means that the sound actually plays from the direction where you've got your window coming from. And it sounds 3D and also judges the distance, so it's really cool. One thing that did kind of surprise me was that it doesn't come with a cellular version for mobility, which means that if you do want to take the Vision Pro out for portability, you do need to connect it to a mobile hotspot.
But you probably won't. It takes huge courage to comfortably wear this out in public. I've been called the F and C bomb by onlookers. Who does this guy think he is? Some people just feel really threatened by seeing people behave in a strange way with things they don't understand. The battery also only lasts for 2 hours and needs to stay constantly connected to the headset, which was a trade-off Apple had to make to not add any extra weight but delivering enough power to achieve the quality.
So still a big deal for traveling. Maybe when it gets a little bit smaller, like every single generation of the iPhone or iPad. And that actually takes us to the first couple of pain points with the Vision Pro. Not only are you having to carry this heavy battery pack everywhere with these dangling wires all over your body, you've also got a pretty heavy headset which weighs about 600 grams or 22 ounce, and it's also unevenly distributed towards the front, which means that when you put it on, it tends to make your head drop forward.
Luckily, I've been training neck for 6 months just to prepare for this moment. But in order to ensure it stays on securely, you have to tighten the strap, which then puts overall pressure on your head, and after a while makes the experience quite nauseous and uncomfortable.
Now, when you're buying the Vision Pro, Apple does do a face scan to find the most suitable eye socket for you. But these things are still not custom fit, which means that when you put it on, there's still a little bit of light that just comes through from the bottom.
It's not too noticeable if you don't focus on it, but it can get really annoying if you do.
Oh, and another thing that can be quite annoying is that when you put the eyepiece on, sometimes you can still see the black eyepiece along the sides. I think if Apple did just one single screen instead of having two lenses, that'll probably solve the problem. And the other thing to note also is that sometimes when you put it on, especially in dim conditions, you can start to see glares or small reflections from the lenses, which can be pretty annoying.
And because it's something you physically wear around you, the entire experience is a solo one. It's absolutely breathtaking sometimes, and you can take screenshots or videos to show others like what I'm doing right now, but there isn't a way you can meaningfully share the experience live with someone else yet. And given people are social creatures, I think that's one of the biggest aspects that's currently missing. Apple does allow you to create personas, which is an avatar of yourself that appears from a face scan. The avatars are used when you FaceTime someone else with a headset, but it's not a very realistic experience which enables that human-to-human connection. And I think a camera and eye contact still fulfills that purpose much better.
The avatar concept does have a lot of potential though. I think as VR develops more and becomes more open world, we're going to start seeing more and more people prefer to actually hang out in the metaverse.
The best experience you'll get from the Vision Pro is the next generation entertainment through movies, music, exploring, sports, just to name a few.
I think in the foreseeable future, this will completely change the way we consume entertainment on digital devices. There are still some limitations at the moment though. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But for now, two notable apps for the movie space is Apple TV, which showcases next generation storytelling, and Disney+.
You get a taste of some of Apple's immersive videos which make you feel like you're actually on scene in real life. The quality is incredibly high. Adventure showcases extreme sports like parkour touring through the streets of Paris, placing you right in front of iconic places like the Notre Dame and Eiffel Tower. You get a good sense of the cityscape and the beautiful Paris architecture as if you were there as a tourist.
Now this really transforms storytelling because instead of just watching film clips, you can actually feel like you're there, and it creates heightened senses of understanding. The only thing that the Vision Pro really misses out on is smell and physical touch. I could probably live with that.
Prehistoric Planet, my personal favorite, takes you back in time to walk with dinosaurs and watching them interact closely. The environment depicts how the Earth looked like 65 million years ago. For sports, Apple showcases soccer and basketball games where you're watching live from the court or right behind the goalkeeper, getting impossible views.
Nothing still beats taking in amazing scenery with our own eyes, but the Vision Pro does compensate for time and distance. It's kind of like you're teleporting somewhere in space and time. It's not on par with reality, and it still doesn't compare to our own eyes, but it's the closest replica that I've come across so far, and one giant leap towards the VR that we've been dreaming of.
In Disney Plus, you get a modest selection of 3D movies and can select from 4 different studios to watch from. My personal favorite is the Disney Theater. Sitting on my couch with the heater on a cold winter's night just makes it so realistic and really beats going out to the cinemas for me. But again, too bad this experience can't be shared.
With more focus on media and productivity at the moment, unfortunately the gaming space for the Vision Pro is still a little bit dull. And to get access to Apple's arcade games, you also have to pay a subscription fee of $7 to $10 per month.
The proposition is a bit different to the Meta Quest in that the Vision Pro and its current games are designed more around hand gestures rather than controllers, though you can connect one. That really limits the games available, so the novelty does wear out quickly. But some notable picks worth mentioning are Game Room, which offers 6 common board games like chess with online multiplayer and AI components, Warped Kart Racers, which is a fun Family Guy version of Mario Kart, Synth Riders is like Dance Dance Revolution or Guitar Hero game played with hands and a sick space dimension atmosphere, Super Fruit Ninja, a familiar and well-known favourite, also takes the experience into the spatial vision realm.
If there was a massive multiplayer game that really allowed you to explore fantasy visuals, I think that would just about kill it. But for now, we'll just have to slice some fruits.
Entertainment is the best use case for the Vision Pro so far, with only two real limitations being the shared experience and also a lack of applications on the Vision operating system, known as Vision OS. Only Apple TV has Super HD immersive clips, but there aren't that many of them, and each one is only about 5 minutes long. So you'll run out of immersive content really quickly.
Now, as with all new technology devices, we're still in the early adoption phase. The infrastructure is there, just waiting for all of the services to come in before everyone starts wearing the Vision Pro. It's not perfect, but we just need a little bit more of the breadcrumbs which Apple has dropped for us along the way.
The most comparable thing to Vision OS is the iPad OS. Vision is designed specifically with immersive VR and hand gestures in mind, whereas the iPad OS is designed specifically with touch in mind.
Check out the link below if you want to see my recent review of the iPad M4 Pro. Now, some popular apps which are still missing include Facebook, Instagram, and Google Drive. However, you can still access these via the Safari browser anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But it would be great if some of these popular apps did also cater for the immersive experience.
Another cool thing about Vision OS is that it lets you connect to a MacBook Pro as a second screen, simply just by looking at the screen and tapping connect.
This only works though if both your Vision Pro and MacBook are signed into the same Apple ID. It's so seamless in allowing you to use your Vision Pro to view your MacBook screen, while also having all of the Vision Pro apps open next to you at the same time.
Now there's a few things to note. So the MacBook screen appears just as a windowed screen, so you can't really use the eye tracking and pinch gestures for control. All of that still comes from your keyboard and mouse. What's great about this is that it takes multitasking to a whole new level, since you're not bound by physical space. The size of the screen or the number of applications on the screen you can have open when coupling with Vision Pro apps is just endless, but you're still only limited by one screen from the MacBook.
This feature only works with the higher end MacBook Pro devices, so unfortunately you can't use it unless you're running one.
In the first 30 to 40 minutes, the Vision Pro is incredible, but after that, you end up in a vision hangover where you really start feeling the eye strain, so you need to take a small break before putting it back on. You never really feel great after taking the headset off, like it just saps a lot of energy out of you. If you're working in a fully immersive environment, you do lose sight of your keyboard, so you need to start touch typing. When working with text like Word doc, I find concentrating to be a bit of an issue, which causes further eye strain. You start to feel all of the discomfort mentioned earlier, like eyes getting hot, the strap, and the weight.
The other thing you're probably going to have to worry about is finding a secluded corner in the office so that you don't attract too much attention. To be honest, I much prefer just working on a laptop hooked onto an external screen. I just find it much more efficient. But it is nice sometimes to put on the Vision Pro and change up the environment and scenery altogether.
The Vision Pro also demonstrates other use cases. Apps like Jig allow you to simulate the assembly process, rip apart machinery, and go up close to inspect aeroplane parts from anywhere. You can see live tutorial videos for those who are practical learners. There's construction and many more.
After experiencing Apple Vision Pro for the first time, one of the things you'll probably immediately ask yourself is, how do I take such high quality content and then relive it on my Vision Pro?
Vision Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro Max have inbuilt cameras to do just that, but the quality still doesn't appear like the videos you see promoted on Apple TV. I think it's going to be a while before we get that sort of technology for everyday life.
So believe it or not, professional videography services actually cost the same, if not more than the Vision Pro. So at this point, I'm really challenging which one provides better value. The Vision Pro, which can capture immersive content and make you feel like you're back in the moment, or the outdated professional videography service, which is still using flat 2D clips and it's still the artist's interpretation at the end of the day.
Oh, and one other thing if you're wondering. Yes, I have tried working out with this on too, but it's not the best experience when you start getting sweaty, or when it rocks around on the treadmill, or when people are looking at you like you're some kind of idiot in the gym. The idea was cool though, but again, Maybe when he gets smaller and I don't have to carry a battery everywhere. To wrap up, the Apple Vision Pro is an innovative piece of technology. It offers a glimpse into the future of mixed reality. Apple leads the way, and soon, hand gestures wearing VR headsets will be a norm. Just like how scrolling on a touchscreen was groundbreaking.
Now you're guaranteed to be blown away from your first experience. The Apple Vision Pro isn't just some new year model with marginal upgrades. It actually changes the way we game, work, and also consume media. But that excitement is short-lived when you realize we're just too early in the adoption curve. There just isn't enough content here right now to justify such an expensive purchase for the average person.
The price point at the moment is insanely high. And I think the main goal at the moment in this early adoption phase is to actually showcase the infrastructure to start luring in developers and tech enthusiasts.
Hopefully we see more in this space soon. Book an appointment in an Apple store if you want to try a free demo. If this video has helped you, please give it a like. And if you've used the Apple Vision Pro, please let me know what are your thoughts in the comment section below.